They said she didn't belong there. They said a civilian woman had no place stepping foot on a Navy SEAL range, especially not one still healing from a past she fought daily to forget. But when she picked up that first rifle, steady hands hiding a trembling heart, every man on that range learned one truth the hard way: some battles build you. Some break you. And some awaken a fire that refuses to die, no matter how many times the world tries to smother it. What nobody expected was how far she'd go, right up until the moment a sniper, silent and unreadable, placed his own rifle into her shaking hands, along with his last magazine. That was the moment everything changed. For her. For him. And for everyone watching. Maya stepped out of the transport truck and instantly regretted every life choice that led her there. The Navy SEAL training compound looked less like a range and more like a battlefield, a place carved from sweat and discipline. The air tasted like metal gun oil, hot shell casings, gravel kicked up by boots that moved with deadly precision. She wasn't military. She wasn't a recruit. She wasn't anything that made sense in that moment. She was just a woman trying to outrun the ghost that followed her everywhere, the memory of her brother, Evan, who'd been a SEAL, and who never made it home. Visiting the base had been her therapist's idea. Closure, she had said. Face the world he lived in. But closure didn't feel like this. Closure wasn't being stared down by a line of men who could break her in half with one arm and likely assume she'd fold faster than a paper target. Yet Maya forced herself to keep her shoulders straight, her chin steady, even as the thoughts clawed at her: you don't belong. You don't belong. You don't belong. Civilian, one of the instructors asked, eyebrows raised like she was a misprint on the day's schedule. Family of Evan Ridge, she answered, voice softer than she hoped. That changed the air. A flicker of recognition. Respect. Pain. Your brother was one of the good ones, the man said. You're welcome here today. But being allowed didn't mean being accepted. As the day's training began, Maya found herself drifting toward the firing line, watching the men shoot with a level of focus she hadn't seen since Evan practiced in their backyard. She didn't know what compelled her: grief, pride, or desperation, but when an instructor asked if she wanted to try, she nodded. They placed a rifle in her hands. It felt impossibly heavy. She took a breath. The first shot was awful loud, jarring, nearly knocking her backward. A couple of the SEALs exchanged looks, the kind that stung even though nobody said a word. But Maya wasn't there to impress them. She was there to fight the part of herself that wanted to give up on everything. So she fired again. And again. And again. Something shifted. Her breathing synced with the trigger pulls. Her heartbeat steadied. The world narrowed to the target, the rhythm of recoil, the strange calm settling over her like a long overdue blanket. The murmurs behind her quieted. The instructor's tone changed. She began hitting closer and closer to the center, pulling each shot tighter, steadier, until her magazine clicked empty. When she lowered the rifle, the men weren't smirking anymore. One of them, tall, buzzcut, unimpressed, grinned reluctantly. Not bad, he admitted. For a rookie. Do I get a sticker? Maya asked, surprising even herself with the joke. A few of them laughed. And for the first time in a long while, her chest didn't hurt when she breathed. They rotated stations, pistols, moving targets, two-gun transitions. Maya wasn't perfect, far from it, but she had something none of them expected: raw focus fueled by emotion deeper than training. Every bullet she sent downrange wasn't just practice, it was a conversation with her brother, a silent confession that she was trying to live, trying to heal. Hours passed. Sweat ran down her back. Her arms ached. But she didn't stop. By early afternoon, someone muttered, "She's sweeping the range." Someone else replied, "She's not even SEAL." How the hell? But skill wasn't what pushed her. It was love. Loss. And the need to prove she was still standing, even if the world had knocked her down again and again. And she might have kept going untouched if not for the sniper. He had been watching her all day. Silent. Observing. Measuring something in her he hadn't spoken aloud. He finally stepped forward, expression unreadable, a weapon slung over his shoulder unlike any she'd touched. "Ridge," he said, voice low but steady. "You ever fired a sniper rifle?" She blinked. "Me? No. Want to?" She hesitated. "You'll regret letting me." For the first time, he smiled, a tiny, serious smile meant for only one person to see. "Try it." Then he handed her his rifle and his last magazine. Everything inside Maya stilled. Everything was about to change. The sniper rifle felt different from everything she'd held earlier, like it had a soul carved into its frame. Maya ran a hand along the cold steel, noticing the scratches and nicks etched into the metal. This wasn't just a weapon, it was a history book. And the man who gave it to her, the sniper, name stitched simply as Keller on his uniform, watched her with an intensity that felt almost protective. "Lie down," Keller instructed gently. "I'll adjust the bipod. You just breathe." Maya settled onto the ground, the earth cool beneath her elbows. The rifle rested heavily against her shoulder. Keller knelt beside her, guiding her hand placement, each touch careful, respectful, as if he knew she was carrying more than recoil inside her. "Look through the scope," he said. "Find the far target." She peered in. The world magnified, sharp, distant, yet suddenly intimate. A steel plate sat out at nearly 1,000 yards, shimmering under the sun. "I can't hit that," she whispered. "You don't know what you can do," Keller replied. "Not yet." His voice struck something deep in her. Something she didn't realize she'd buried. She inhaled. The world narrowed. She exhaled. The world steadied. Shot 1. The recoil slammed into her shoulder. The bullet missed by an embarrassing distance. Someone behind them muttered, "Told you." But Keller didn't flinch. "Again," he said. Shot 2. A little closer. Again. Shot 3. Closer. Her hands trembled, not from fear but from the weight of the moment. She blinked hard, memories crashing into her, the day Evan left for his final deployment,